The territory of the James Bay Cree has been transformed in 20 years. Once an unspoiled, harsh but beautiful place, the Cree homeland north of Montreal is now site of the world's largest hydroelectric project. Scano. I'm Gary Farmer. The links between our people and Indigenous people around the world are strengthening. This episode of From Spirit to Spirit explores the new ties between Canadian natives and South African blacks. In May 1992, two South African visitors came to Canada. They wanted to see the Cree villages in northern Quebec, part of one of the largest land claim settlements in North America. The cash involved and the impact on the land of that deal changed Cree society forever. The Crees now live primarily in modern villages like Eastmain. That's because about 20 years ago, the James Bay Cree signed a treaty with the province of Quebec and the government of Canada. They had to allow hydro development to proceed. Governments liked the deal and the money from hydroelectric power. The Crees aren't so sure. So Emma Pakati and Benjamin Hayani touched down first in Eastmain to see for themselves.
Very important thing of this trip that they're taking is for us to be able to share of what a Cree is, how a Cree lives, not to perhaps understand our tradition, our way of life, and some of the customs that we live with, and for us to be able to perhaps have some kind of an idea of who these people are.
The Cree spend part of each year in the bush. Emma and Benjamin visited a Cree goose hunting camp outside the village of Eastmain.
When you look at the world itself, there are all kinds of societies out there. And we all have to understand that we're all human beings, and that no matter who we are, black, white, Indian, red, all our lives are the same. We have, I think, a common goal in life that people have to live in harmony with the land. And you eat not a child or chat here.
The South Africans and the Crees became friends. The powerful differences between their lives rang clear when Benjamin picked up a shotgun shell, a shell the Crees used for hunting geese.
They use that for people in South Africa.
And they are very dangerous.
Yeah.
They should sometimes aim at you here. You see? And then when they got to here, I mean, you're going to suffer.
Yeah.
There are some diseases that maybe this one is not the same, but in South Africa, the pellets inside, they've got a certain kind of poison that will affect you in the long run. Yeah. The police are aiming. No, they will take a target of you. They know if they aim you here, it will come down here. They aim you here, it will come down here. So at the end, and some of our people are sort of crippled. You know, the youth, because they are the most people who are affected.
You know, the purpose why we have shells ourselves is for survival only.
Yeah.
You know, all those feathers we seen over there, like I said before, you know, they were taken off from here. They take off the tail part, and usually they cut it here and take out the gut area. You don't want to clean them right away. You gotta make sure that you do that first. This is a good way to bring them down, is to shoot them by the wing, so you don't spoil the meat part of it.
Means they're experts, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta know.
You gotta know where to shoot them. Yeah. And also, it all depends on the wind too, which way the wind's blowing. Because a goose never takes off straight. It'll always go with the wind. So a goose might be coming straight to you, but actually it's still shifting. And you gotta be able to notice that.
So the V shape, always they are flying in the V shape.
Yeah, that's right. If there's a whole bunch of them out in the air, out in the sky, they'll form a word saying, "We see you."
We see.
Emma and Benjamin also met in Chief Gilpin's office to discuss political concerns.
What is this James Bay Agreement and the effects thereof to the land and to the people?
We felt that the agreement itself was starting to tear the nation apart, because this is, one community would say, well, I have more community members than you do, Mr. Gilpin. Well, why should you get the same amount as we do? These little fights started to form within the Cree Nation itself. We are having right now the same problems that any other native community has across Canada. There's child abuse, there's battered women, and people having alcohol addictions and drug addictions, and we refer to ourselves as the people of the land, which is why we're here to defend it in any way we can.
The South Africans were amazed at the space and opportunity to hunt still enjoyed by the Crees. Such things exist only for the privileged few under apartheid.
We know that the answers are out there. That's where our people came from. That's where they've survived for so many years. And for me, to be very honest, I had an alcohol problem myself too. And it was an elder that I approached, and he told me to go off on my own to the land for almost a week. And when I came back, I was almost like a new man. I guess we can say that we will always live our traditional way, no matter if we live in houses or we live in other dwellings. Our people used to walk into their territories, paddle into their territories, all right? Whereas the changes now are planes. It is much accessible to get into your territory.
Even in South Africa, there is such kind of like typical traditional house, Even the homemade bread is the same as in South Africa. People in South Africa, they are doing such things. Well, we find that a lot of things, they are nearly the same.
Yeah. My name is Benjamin Sanyane. We are here to share ideas and also to learn from the Aboriginal or the First Nations of Canada about their way of life, their dispossession of their country. Also, it's one of our problems in South Africa. So what I'm trying to say is that the laws
The learning went both ways.
the
Benjamin
native
introduced a group of
land,
East Main high school
reserves,
students to the
and
history of
especially
South
the
Africa
north part of
and the
Quebec
brutal
are the same
reality
laws
of
that are in
apartheid.
South Africa. The Europeans and the British find out that there are gold, there are diamonds in South Africa. So harsh laws were being passed in the House of Commons in Cape Town. You talk to a white man or white woman, for example, maybe asking a question in town, it was an offense. Sitting in a park next to a white man, it was an offense. Going in the same toilet with a white man, it was an offense. Then it was worse to have a house or a dwelling in a white area where people should not go, people what to do, where to work, how much to earn, who to marry, where to eat. There were those laws in South Africa. There were laws that were made by the British and the Dutch people that people should not have gold. So our people did not rest. When those people come in, they were fighting. But now in terms of those fighting, to suit the white men, they were saying our people were massacring the white men. But when the white men were massacring our people, they were saying it's a victory. So you can see whatever is written, it's in favor of the white men. Even here in Quebec.
Before leaving East Main, the South Africans were honored to witness a traditional Cree ceremony, walking out, in which Cree children are initiated in the ways of the hunt. Next stop was Skagenish, home of Chief Billy Diamond, the man who in 1975 signed the James Bay Treaty for the Crees.
How you doing? Benjamin, how are you? Billy Diamond.
Emma Pakati.
Hello, Emma.
In Waskaganish, an elaborate lodge was built for the South Africans. It was erected so the village elders could hold a special feast for Emma and Benjamin.
I would like to encourage our brothers and sisters in Canada, especially Aboriginal people, to build alliance with the political organizations, in order to come together, be strong, so that they can fight these white oppressors. To me, it's unfair because he is negotiating with the Aboriginal people. But the government, on the other hand side, is busy going on with the projects. Private companies are busy cutting the forest. I mean, they are living by hunting, and by fishing. The water is no more, like before. The Aboriginal people, they have to, make some strategies. So I'm encouraging them, to come together and build a strong unity.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I'm from Gwandebele Bantustan. And the Bantustan are the same as the reserves here in Canada. So my colleagues have already mentioned a lot of words of many thanks. So I'm also saying many thanks for our elders for receiving us with home hands. And it is a pleasure for us and a good luck for us to be received by all the people. So we will be with you during the couple of these days, and we will learn a lot from you.
And in 1971, we started to fight back, first by using the white man's court and the white man's legal system. And we fought back and we won the first injunction. And when we won the first injunction, the judge said, listen, there are rights involved. The Crees have rights.
Yep.
But by the time we won, half of the James Bay project was already built.
It's a better lesson for the Crees that despite their negotiating skill and newfound legal clout, the James Bay project went ahead. The Crees got the best deal they could. It gave them more control over their lives than most Canadian Indians have, but they still face the threat of more hydro development. Black South Africans are now looking closely at that kind of land claim settlement. Also, the Crees have maintained their traditions just as surely as Billy Diamond is still linked to his family land.
See, when I look around here, I see my father. You know, I know the place around here. And my father also camped along here. And every fall, my family had to paddle along the shore to go up the Nottoway River. So we know this river. And then at this time of year, like days like this, we would come down from the river. So this place is, our history is in this place. So I cannot forget the past. Because I am rich because of the past. Yeah. That's the way we look at things.
Some people look at things from here to that end of the table. They don't look beyond, and they don't look back. They just want things to happen and finish.
You know, I don't think we walk here on earth because of our generation. We walk because of our children and our grandchildren. And I'm a grandfather now. And then when I look at my granddaughter, I see her future. And I want her to have the things that I had.
Sure.
And I want her to remember also her great-grandfather. You know, I tell my children, don't forget your grandfather. Even though he is gone, don't forget him. You know, learn about him. Try to understand him, who he was. You know, that's part of our family, because once we break down as a family, once our family values break down, our traditional values begin to break down. And then once our traditional values break down, our tribe will begin to fall apart. It's very important to keep the family together.
The visit led Billy Diamond to think about Canada in a new light.
We have an Indian reserve system in Canada. It's very similar to the homeland system in South Africa. Their numbers are greater in South Africa, where we don't have that many people in Canada, Aboriginal people. But the problems of racism and discrimination and prejudice are still here in Canada as well. And they're obviously quite different in South Africa. One must understand the history of South Africa to really know the problems. That's the same in Canada. You have to understand our history. It's amazing to hear that the ANC was established in 1912, yet the Crees lost their territory by the extension of the boundaries of the province of Quebec, also in 1912.
Before leaving Cree territory, the South Africans discovered a final, more ironic link with their hosts: Christianity.
I don't know if I'm ever going to see Emma. I don't know if ever I'm going to see Benjamin. I know the situation in South Africa. So it's a very difficult departure between us and our newfound friends from South Africa. The greatest blessing that we can give to an individual is that our prayers go with them. Steve Chigello, that they can wear our prayers around them, that they can be surrounded with our prayer. Father God, we just pray in the wonderful name of Jesus. We just pull down every enemy that will confront Benjamin and Emma. We pray for these friends. Let your spirit travel with them. Father God, we ask for your deliverance. Set our friends free. Set Benjamin free, Lord. Set Emma free. Let their country be free. We keep them in our hearts. We thank you for it. We thank you for this time that we've spent together. We honor you. We give you the glory. Thank you, Lord.
You know, in South Africa, when repression was there, the church itself has played a very important role in fighting racism, in uniting people. So I also hope here the same thing must happen, or maybe will happen. So if the church does not tell the people the truth, it is not doing its duty, because I hope, and to my knowledge, is that the church should preach peace and justice among the people, which means it includes the law of the countries. So there must be peace and justice, which means also includes the human rights that the country should practice.
The South Africans returned to the uncertain, painful dismantling of apartheid. The Crees continued to face disruption, opportunity, and threats to their environment, both enriched with a broader understanding of each other's struggle.